This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 48, In the Name of Honor.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 48, In the Name of Honor. Yes, it's time to rejoin us all once again for lowdown, hoedown, showdown, anything to do with news and views.
Where are the hoes?
The latest TV and films we've been watching. Obviously, we've got our featurette, the Boba Fett bit, but it's the last one tonight. So yes, you've had it. And tonight's the last you're getting for a while, probably.
Thank God for that.
I am Paul Hawkins, and as ever, I am joined by...
Damien Hicks.
And I'm Brett Summers.
You are indeed. So, firstly, has anyone been up to anything interesting this week that they want to talk about before we get on to what we're here to do?
I've been at work.
Cool. Damien.
As too have I.
And so have I. So that's that. Valentine's came and went. I didn't actually get anything.
Waste of time.
I did. My work sent me a huge bag of sweets for Valentine's Day. That was it. That's what I got for Valentine's.
I got cool
That
shit.
reminds me, I've still got flumps knocking around here somewhere.
Yes!
I got cool shit.
Bring it out. Bring it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at them when I know I can be quieter. I don't want to.
It never normally stops you.
I know, it's just true. It does it? But I will. I'll have a look for them in a minute.
As he knocks over some bottles.
I got this cool Return of the Living Dead t-shirt.
I did spot that as you walked into the Cult Faction studio.
I would plug the company, but I can't remember who it is. But I'll make sure I do later on.
That reminds me, Emily is on at me to get her a Guns N' Roses t-shirt.
Sweet.
Which is, she's 2.5 years old.
Sweet child of yours.
Well, yes. At 2.5, thanks for it. Has she picked an album yet?
Appetite all the way.
Fair enough.
Good girl.
You're going to get the original cover t-shirt?
Not the original cover t-shirt, no. I'll get
I'd like to see that at toddlers.
Yeah, walk into nursery wearing that. That would be cool.
She could rock it out.
Yeah.
Just like drops a bottle on the floor at a break.
Pick it up, bitch.
Trashes the place.
He got nothing better to do.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so that's that then.
Yeah.
No more pleasantries.
So Valentine's was cool. I did that. Oh, and I got a little placemat thing and some other cool stuff as well.
You got what, sorry?
Got a little placemat thing and some other cool stuff. But
Placemat?
It's what you put drinks on.
Civilised people do it, Paul.
Yeah.
I was going to say...
We don't bother with it.
I'm not used to that with Summers. Why have you got placemat?
Because it's a present.
At hers?
Let's go.
Or are you allowed to take it away?
I've got it.
Why is she just saying,
it's a hint.
stop putting your cups down on my table. Here's a placemat for you.
Maybe. It wasn't like a bib.
Clever.
It wasn't a bib. But yeah, so it was cool. Yeah, it was good.
Great. Placemat. For the man who has everything.
That's about the only thing I didn't have.
Oh, she got you a t-shirt as well?
Yeah, to be fair, the conversation was going. I didn't pick up that she got you that.
I got this. Wait, we said Valentine's Day, and I said I got this cool T-shirt.
I thought you were just doing it like a...
Well, just a cheap
I just got a cool t-shirt. It's like,
Well, I've got a cool T-shirt.
Are we sponsored by QWERTY now? Is it?
No, it's not quite. It's independent contractors. Ooh. It'll be in the show notes or whatever. We'll try.
Okay, so let's come to you first, as you had some presents for Valentine's Day. What have you been watching?
Okay.
Ghost.
Not quite. And I saw Beaches was on, so I know what you were doing.
It was on, and I didn't watch it.
Oh. Sure.
Yeah, positive.
Okay.
Can't go back. Too many memories.
No, I've been watching lots of stuff actually. Obviously, what we're going to talk about later on in our little bit. I have been watching all that bit, yeah. Boba Fett bit, but it's too early for that. Right, I have been watching the new series of South Park.
Yeah.
So the second episode of the new series of South Park may be the single best episode of episodic television in the last year.
Well, it's only February, to be fair.
In the last year. That means, like, in a year
It's still not
now.
saying a lot, because there was a lot of lockdown TV last year.
Yeah, and we talked about it. No, all right, for a while anyway. No, they literally took something that they have had. I don't want to give it away without watching it.
I'm not going to watch it.
You need to watch it. No, but our listeners might. But they literally took something that has been long established in a TV show, turned it on its head, and just made you an asshole for watching it and accepting it. And it was brilliant. I'll tell you what.
Bill Cosby make an appearance?
No, it was just genius and totally. I wouldn't say it as a cloud over the program, but it was maybe a joke that had its time, and they managed to twist it around even further and make you the arsehole for the joke.
Can Damien not ring his bell, and then we can talk about it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because
what, spoiler bell?
Spoiler bell.
You have been warned. Well, basically, as you know, for quite a while now, and what we're on season 25, so I'd say for maybe a good 20 seasons now, what is the black character in South Park called?
Token, yeah.
Token, what's his surname?
No idea.
Black. His name is Token Black, and that's been the running joke for years or whatever. Well, Stan's dad invites Token's family over for a meal because he grows hemp now in the new series, and apparently if he's got black people in business with him, it'll make his hemp sell more. So he's playing that. And then they do a chat around the table, and his dad's on about some books he read, and he went, I really love Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and that, and that's why I named my son after him. And they're like, what, your son's name is Tolkien? And he went, yeah. He goes, what did you think it was? And he's like, no, I thought it was Tolkien as well. He's like, Stanley, did you know? He goes, and Stan's like, oh my God. And he's like phoning people out. And Cartman's like, Cartman, did you know Tolkien's name was actually Tolkien? He went, yeah, I knew that. He goes, what do you call him Tolkien for? He's like, because I'm a racist asshole. He's like, okay. He goes, why else would I call him that? If you've been thinking that for years, you're a racist asshole. And it just played out all the way through. And it's just genius because obviously it was that. And obviously time has moved on from that. And maybe they need to step away from things like that. But they've just spun the whole thing around is like Stanley trying to come to terms with that and eventually having the pod on that. But it's just brilliant because it's just something that's been established for ages. The jokes are on its course and been done to death. And obviously times have moved on in the 20-odd years, whatever Tolkien's probably been in South Park. But it turns out all along his name was Tolkien. And it turns out like everyone else knew, it was just Stan that didn't know. So like, Stan's like, am I racist? And it is a real mirror up kind of thing. Although we're in on the joke, there's a whole bit of like where he goes to see like a psychiatrist and doctor bloke and explain it. And the doctor's like, you thought that like your friend? He goes, what kind of a sick person? And he like literally breaks the fourth wall and goes, anyone who thinks like that about their friend and thinks that's their name, did you not even question it? Not even question your morals that you laughed at something like that? Did you not question your moral that you thought this was funny? And it really, and you're like, shit, I'm a racist arsehole. You know, it just plays it back on you. And it was really cleverly done. And yeah, go South Park.
Did you not get out much this week?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was just really clever.
No, it sounds good. It's just...
You should watch it.
But they said his name's Token for the last 20 years. So I don't feel an arsehole thinking his name is Token.
No, but that's the whole play on it, isn't it? That's the whole point.
And I bet if you watch the credits, he comes up as Token.
No, they never put the character names. They never have done.
Just saying.
Because if they put character names, a lot of the likenesses they use, they would then get... That's what it says before. Any celebrity likeness is impersonated and not real. But they never have a name who it is.
Does he have one of those head things? That, you know, the toy head things that every character going. Because I bet if he does. Bubbleheads, yeah. I bet it's Token.
That probably is. But that's what I said. But they've changed it now to retcon it and just sort of the jokes wharf in and the times moved on.
What the joke was on TV shows that stick a black character
totally agree with
to
that.
Meet their
same as like
quotas.
Same as the Clerks animated TV show when they introduced a black character called Lando.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was never there to hold a face up to the viewer because the viewer's in on the joke. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I thought it was cleverly done, though. But
I guess the main thing is that Brett's still enjoying South Park in season 25.
This is true.
So it's got to be some good. It's just, and I'd probably find it funny. I just can't. I can't go back.
To be fair, I think I'd probably stopped watching it before Taken was introduced. To be perfectly honest,
I must have got up to like season 10, probably.
Because he wasn't an original, was he?
No, he came in a bit later. He moved into South Park.
Exactly. So I think I'd moved out of South Park by like 98,
Well,
99.
you should try it again. It's a lot better now. It's a lot more seriously written now.
Orientated animation.
Right.
Can't be
Moving
done
on.
with it.
Enough of South Park. Damien.
I'm
I don't know if there can ever be enough of South Park.
No, for tonight.
You know, all right, okay, fair enough.
I'm so mature. I don't watch cartoons anymore.
It's got nothing to do with maturity.
Right. Line drawn. Damien.
Okay. So I finished watching Rig 45, which is that murder mystery thing
that.
talked about a couple of weeks back. I was right about the motive for the killings. I was wrong about the person doing it. So it's kind of good and bad because the why was obvious, the who not so.
Were there only two of them left at the end of it?
There was only two of them left at the end of it, yeah. And to be fair, you could see.
Did they sit looking at each other with a flamethrower?
You're not too far from. I think there was a flare involved at some point rather than a flamethrower, but it was obvious how it was going to end by the second to last episode, and it just fell a bit short. And there's actually a season 2. I think I mentioned that the last time, which is why the reason I started to watch it in the first place, because I thought it can't be that bad if they got a season 2. But the conceit for season 2 is just atrocious. So I won't. If you do want to watch it, I would recommend don't bother. But if you do want to watch it,
Spoiler bell.
no, I'm not going to give any spoilers away. So the person who is doing the murders does get caught, but then
Jumps into the sea.
no.
Copycat.
But then they have to take that person back to the rig in the second season to uncover something about the motive for why she was killing them. It just wouldn't happen.
You said
There's
she.
absolutely no.
You said she.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh well.
To be
Spoiler
fair,
bell,
I
retro.
wasn't going to watch it because I didn't think you were that interested.
No,
in it.
I generally wouldn't bother.
But
Don't.
The one great thing I remembered about that is our idea for the TV show, The Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what
Featuring Red Adair.
Yeah. We should do some bonus episodes where we explore the idea of having a skeleton crew on, like the Death Star or various other large installations in
What did we say?
galaxies
Death
far,
Star,
far away.
Titanic, which
Yeah.
We
need to go back and listen because we had about 4 or 5, I think, we listed
yeah,
where we could, transpose this skeleton crew and see what they get up to.
cool.
But yeah, I 2 episodes into the second season and we're just not going to bother carrying on. It's ridiculous. It's just stupid.
They could run a bar in Boston. The Skeleton Crew.
No, you've lost me.
Cheers.
Yeah, I know. I got the cheers.
I'm just trying to think of other bits that the Skeleton Crew could do.
No.
Theme episodes. Why can't they go to a bar? They might like
They're
to
not going to be a
drink.
skeleton crew in Cheers, are they? We're thinking more like great science fiction things.
Yeah.
Or fantasy things.
It's not many high, there's not a lot they can get up to, but they just get to sit there and get pissed. We could do that.
To some of us.
Let's go to Cheers and be the skeleton crew and just sit
So
there.
you've just
Says
caught
the
on
man
now.
sitting directly in front of
Yes.
150 litres of pure alcohol. Not pure alcohol, but you know what I mean.
50% proof. Okay, cool. So following on from the stuff that you've been watching that isn't great, I'm going to give a quick mention to Trigger Point.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 3.
Our token mention of Trigger Point.
Episode 3 was on Sunday
Does
night.
it bomb?
It's still crap. She still hasn't learned any bloody lessons.
Why are you watching this nonsense?
Because it annoys me in a good way, I think. All those little kids wanting to grow up to be a bomb disposal expert are watching this thinking, easy. I just run to a bomb, take off my helmet. Sometimes I don't even need the pads. Sometimes I'm just going to meet my brother. He's got a bomb in his car. Even though I'm not on duty, everyone's going to let me in because I'm a bomb disposal expert, even though I'm not on duty. And I'm going to run up to the car and, I'm going to try and do it myself, even though I'm not on duty. The key thing about that is you're not on duty. You wouldn't be doing it.
I sense great anger.
Oh, just winds me up.
It's got wavy lines on the screen now, that's for sure.
I mean, luckily, ding your bell, just in case anyone other than me is watching Trigger Point, which you shouldn't be.
I think that lady's mum's watching it. I forgot her name is in it.
So the good thing about it is that her brother dies in the car. She doesn't get him out in time. She basically says, whatever you do, don't open the door. What's he going to do? He's going to open the door, isn't he? It's like saying, don't press that big red button. So, yeah, anyway, he opens the door because he thinks time's running out, even though she's told her, don't worry, it's not going to run out. It's not connected to the bomb. It's just making you, think it is and open the door. So, yeah, it's still crap. Still crap. Don't watch it.
Is that it now, or is there still more to go?
There's still more to go. But I'm going to quickly say that's something not to watch. However, I took your advice and watched One Night in Soho.
Oh,
Yes.
It's really good. Finally, like a decent horror thriller type thing. That's really good. I think it was the direction on it was brilliant. You were right. I love the 60s now.
Yeah.
I love it even more. I kind of get your point, Brett, about potentially not making enough of that character. And they could have done it slightly better in the past just to, again, make it more than 30-second conversation.
Yeah, I think it was just they couldn't find a way of making more of it without giving it away. And that's where the problem lied.
But no,
other than that,
I genuinely loved it. I thought the scenes where she goes back in time and she becomes whatever her name was in the 60s, and the little shots in the mirror, and the choreography of the dancing and how they switch in between her in the present and then the old character in the past. I thought it was really, really cool, really clever.
One bit I looked at because I got the Blu-ray as well, because it was $13.99 to watch it on Sky, or $15.99 to get the Blu-ray as well. So I was like, more bang for me buck.
fair dues.
But there's a bit where it's basically they did the old Peggy Sue Got Married trick, where they got the people reenacting it in the mirror behind them. So it was like move for move.
Yeah.
And but in the cloakroom bit, they've got it's the Weasley twins from Harry Potter. But they've got their hair black. So when they give it in, and you see her doing it, but in the reflection you see 60s one doing it, or the other way around, I forgot now. But it's the Weasley twins from Harry Potter. So the cloakroom guy looks exactly the same. And it's just, but again, it was one of those like matching time and the movements exactly, both doing it at the same time and all that choreographed. And brilliantly done.
No, it was really good.
Edgar Wright is, I don't know, he should be, he's got a lot of praise, but I feel he should be higher up in the directorial stakes nowadays.
Yeah, but the problem is, and this we could get into long conversations about this, but this is why I don't like modern cinema, is because that film the film we're talking about now, last thingy Soho, whatever it's called.
Last Night in Soho.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I said One Night in Soho.
Yeah, whatever it is.
No, it is One Night in Soho.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's Last Night in Soho. Last night. It doesn't matter.
That film, anyway.
Before I lose my point, my point is,
sorry,
cinema is just about blockbuster. It's just about Marvel. It's just about Star Wars. It's just about all of that shite. So these films, as brilliant as they are, and it did get a fair amount of publicity, but nowhere near the amount of publicity, nowhere near amount of the kudos that any Marvel decides to shit out.
Oh no,
or any Lucasfilm.
But it wouldn't be in that vein. But I mean, people.
But that's
like
why it doesn't. But because it's not in that vein, it doesn't get the credit it deserves, and Edgar Wright doesn't get the credit he deserves outside of film critic circles and people like us.
He does have the perfect name for being a Sir, though, doesn't he?
Sir Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
We bow to you, Sir Edgar Wright.
He's a local boy as well, and he's anything down the road. He's a pool boy.
He's a ball boy.
He's a pool boy.
Oh, he's from Pool.
He's from Pool.
I thought you meant he hangs around in pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he likes to...
Whatever floats your boat. If it helps with his creative juices, then...
Boy. I think he went to Bournemouth College or something like that. He's anything down the road. But
well, it's not exactly down the road, is it? But we're going to take him as one of ours.
Yeah, we're going to claim him.
Yeah,
well, you said Bournemouth Pool. I think Bournemouth was part of Hampshire once.
South Coast. Yeah, no, but I mean, if you put him in, like, you sort of, people talk about, your Lynch, I mean, Lynch is a league in his own, don't get me wrong. But,
yeah,
you got your Lynch, you've got your...
Lynch, 80s, 90s. From the last 20 years, it's all about the blockbuster nonsense. It's all about Marvel.
Most of it, but every so often you get a Parasite, you get a what's it called?
The one where they dance and sing in LA.
Oh yeah, that can go.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you're right. And what's it called?
I'm not saying it's just Marvel, but what I mean is,
I know what you mean, and you're right, and it always has been in some ways.
Midnight in Paris, that got a load of reviews and a lot of time for one of those quirky type films.
Yeah, and I forgot the guy's name. What's his name?
There's one with the hobbits.
Jordan Peele.
there's ones with the Hobbits.
That got quite a bit of publicity at some point.
Yeah.
Again, that's my
I'm
point.
joking. Anyway, so yeah.
But yeah.
Last Night in Soho, One Night in Soho.
Last night, so yeah, it was last night, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, Edgar Wright, go and check him out. I'd also recommend Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and the Cornetto trilogy if you haven't seen them yet. I'm sure he's made other stuff too.
I can't imagine there's anyone that listens to this that wouldn't have seen those.
Spaced as well, if you remember that, which is really old now, but still good.
Have you watched any of those this week, Brett?
No.
What else have you been watching this week?
Right, as you will know, it was a special day the other day.
Valentine's Day.
It was, and
Did you watch Ghost?
No. I have ventured to the small town of Forks in the Pacific Northwest region of America and discovered the wonders of the Cullen family and some werewolves.
Werewolves?
who don't wear shirts.
So you saw vampires that shine in the moonlight
Yeah.
and werewolves.
And to be fair, I'd seen Twilight.
I only now, literally about 2 seconds before you said the word Twilight, I even knew that was the point I knew you were talking about. I had Pacific Northwest, something about the Colburn family.
Normally I'd take the divergence to the town of Twin Peaks when I'm in that area, but this time I ended up in Forks. And I'll give it its credit. I can see why it's popular.
I didn't mind it, and I think the only reason for that is because I was depressed.
And the films, the films get better as they go on.
I think I literally watched it with a huge tub of ice cream, some Baileys, and after a bottle of wine or two. I'm sure it's one of those breakup
Was
films.
Bridget Jones with you?
No, that was probably on next.
Did you have her pants?
That would have made the night more interesting.
No, I get it. It works. It's very much. It does remind me of the old Roswell TV series, though. I think that Stephanie Myers may have watched that before she wrote Twilight, because it's instead of an alien, he's a vampire who sparkles. But the first film
Was that were the books before?
I believe,
How
yeah.
many of
I don't
these
know.
films did you watch on Valentine's?
Well, over the weekend. I'm on the last one now. I didn't watch the third one.
How many are there?
I believe there are 5.
Four.
I didn't watch
4 or 5?
I didn't watch. I watched the first one, the second one. We didn't watch the third one because apparently that is rubbish, and I got that one explained to me, and then watched the fourth one. So
Hold on.
watched 3.
Hold on a minute. You let her skip a film.
Oh, she went. That one's
I mean,
rubbish.
to be fair though, if I was being forced to watch Twilight and someone
know.
says
No,
we can skip the third, I skip the
wasn't
third.
being-
But
He's changed, hasn't he? Well, no, we can't skip number 3.
I wasn't being forced
How
to
am I
watch
gonna-
it. I accepted the challenge of watching
I'm
it.
taking notes.
however way you want, whichever way you want to frame it. If someone said to me, "You'd have to watch the third one," I'd be, yeah, it's cool.
No,
but I don't want to
I
watch
just took them on. Then I thought, if I need to, I'll go back. But it didn't seem the information I was provided with filled
was
the gap
sufficient.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
And,
think what the third one was.
It's the one apparently like the evil vampire lady comes out to sea and tries to get Bella, and the werewolf dude and the dude from Jedward team up to like get her.
Oh, okay. Can't remember it. Must have been rubbish.
And then I watched the one where she has a baby.
Yep.
No, that was actually right. It was a bit more action packed. I think they'd moved away from sort of, it kicked the Mills and Boone side out of it out the way a little bit. But it did raise some interesting questions though, because in Forks, which is in the Pacific Northwest, which means it's really cold, male werewolves, because they're like really hot and their blood boils or whatever it is, they don't wear t-shirts because they go around topless because they're all ripped and like their body's really hot and they don't need to wear anything. But the female werewolves do.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I was just like, it's interesting. genetics there. It is what it is. And I have to give a special credit to my new favourite Twilight character, Jasper. What's his name? Yeah, Jasper Cullen, who is played by, and I've forgotten his name already. He's played by Jackson Rathbone, because he's just like, he's kind of like the big Ron of the Cullens. He has a couple of moments, and he's kind of in there, but it's like, no, you're not like, I forgot his name now, Batman. Robert Pattinson. It's like, you're kind of cool, you're all right, but go and step at the back of it, a bit more to the left. What about here? No, bit more to the left. What about here? No, you're still in frame. Bit more to the left. Yeah, stand there. But I'm not in the shot. You're fine. It's kind of like that. And yeah, so Jasper, if you do ever watch it, Jasper's the cool one.
It's it's unlikely, very unlikely. In fact, it's so unlikely. I know that whilst we do these recordings, Sarah is currently working her way through them again, which guarantees me not having to watch them at least for another 10 years.
Careful, they'll be off watching it with her.
Yeah,
it's on the last
Is she on the
one.
third one yet?
But yeah, I can see why it's bad. I was just interested because I watched the first one when it came out at with a bunch of people and I didn't care, and so I thought let's give it a proper go over, because obviously it's made loads of money and they're already talking about revamping it already and redoing it again.
Pun intended.
Yes,
I just do them subconsciously. I didn't even think. That wasn't, yeah. But so I thought, let's see what it's about, and I've got one to go, and I will watch it. It's got who's the Michael Sheen's in it?
Yep, I know. I've watched them.
I know. I'm just saying, but you always moan about him because he steals all your roles.
Yeah, he stole that one as well.
And the other dude, which
that's a blessing, isn't it?
But the other dude that bugged me for ages.
That so much.
It bugged me for ages who it was, and I had to look at it. He's the sheriff that takes over in Peacemaker.
That doesn't help us too, does it?
Have you not watched it yet?
No.
Because Paul
we're in the UK.
I couldn't fly out this week.
I couldn't fly out this week. But yeah, but that was it. But no, it's I get its popularity, but it is horror written by a girl.
Cool. Damien.
Right, well,
take us away from Twilight.
I will gladly take you from the Pacific Northwest to somewhere in Spain. I forget where now. Andalusia, I think it's set.
Andalusia.
Benidorm.
Yeah, that's the one. Not Benidorm, no. So we've started to watch now. I don't know. I'm going to just pronounce this as it's written. There's probably an accent to it, but it's Feria is how I would pronounce it. Feria.
Oh, we saw that. Is that on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it.
Seen it. You've seen the title card and all that, yeah.
I'm unaware of this show. Please explain.
It's a Spanish horror stroke drama set somewhere in around the 1990s. It centers around two sisters whose parents have disappeared, and they seem to be involved in some sort of ritualistic cult. So on the night they disappear, they're caught on CCTV leading a group of people to an abandoned mine shaft where they all seem to commit suicide. And then the drama picks up around the police investigation and the two girls dealing with the fallout of that in a small Spanish village in the mountains. There's a lot going on. So, and it's one of those things where if I say too much about it, it gives everything away, because each episode either closes a thread or introduces a new one. So
no, it makes sense.
Whatever I say about a particular episode would just spoil, that particular episode at the very least, if not the entire thing. So I'm about 5 episodes in. It's good. It doesn't bring anything new to that type of story. There's no, well, so far anyway, there's no great revelation. You got cults and possible demonology and all that sort of stuff going on.
All the good things.
All the good things you'd expect from a show about cults and demonology.
Cool.
But that doesn't take anything away from how good it actually is. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, but compared to some of the American nonsense we've seen along the same vein, it's much better. So I'd recommend it.
Cool.
Well, so far, if it has a really shockingly bad ending, I might change that. But I think I've only got about 3 episodes. I think it's 8. It's either 8 or 10 episodes, something like that. So I haven't got that far to go. It's really good.
Cool. So I'm going to quickly mention The Servant on Apple TV. Yeah, it's still good. I kind of want them to think about bringing it to an end. Otherwise, they're just going to drag it. I can, fall under the same spell as a lot of people, and just make it 10 series long, and then it just dwindles out.
Yeah.
I want them to say, yeah, it's going to be 5 seasons done, and then work towards that and have a good ending. But so far, it's still kicking along really well. How I Met Your Mother is still on my watch list.
What are you up to now? What are you up to?
I think I must be on season 3 now. I don't know, because I literally just watch one after the other until I'm either fall asleep or I'm about to fall asleep and can't watch anymore. Yeah, it's just cracking. Love it to bits. It's a lot better than Friends.
Yep.
Let's see what you did there.
Going to quickly mention Billions. We finished. Well, we pretty much watched 5 episodes. The remaining bit of season 5 that we bought. I think we bought it on Netflix. And yeah, it's cracking. If you haven't watched any of Billions and you just like seeing rich people slug it out with DAs, and it's great. And they brought it to a conclusion really well. That there is a season 6, no doubt. It's not going to be as good now that Matey's left. Forgotten his name now. He left because his wife died, unfortunately, in real life. What's his bloody name?
Damian
Lewis, yeah.
Yeah.
But they gave him a really good send-off, like character-wise. And kudos to him for carrying on with the rest of the season. And he went out in true style. And it is left open, should he ever want to go back as well. But yeah, definitely great. And then from a high to a low.
Oh.
So the 355 is available to rent now. Don't do it.
What's the 355?
If I say, well, let me tell you, Brad. When a top secret weapon falls into mercenary hands, a wild card CIA agent joins forces with 3 international agents, they're all female, on a lethal mission to retrieve it, while staying a step ahead of a mysterious woman who's tracking their every move. Stars I hate using the word stars when talking about this film, but the lead roles are played by Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Bing Bing Fan, Diane Kruger, and Jason Fleming plays one of the lead male roles.
I'm just looking at it. It's got Sebastian Stan in it as well.
Yeah. So it's basically Charlie's Angels, but they've tried to make it, I want to say, a bit more realistic, but it's not realistic in any way, shape or form. It's just rubbish. That they've tried to play on we need to do something with all women being lead roles. I've got nothing against that. But it's not realistic. It's not overly exciting. There's not really much action in it. I just don't know why it was made. It was like when they did Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
So they did Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. Oh, let's spice it up a bit by making the lead characters female. Still wasn't a good film. And yeah, they've just tried to do something similar to Charlie's Angels, similar to that spy espionage action adventure, but as opposed to someone like The Rock and, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds teaming up, it's Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, and the rest. Don't bother, please.
I wasn't going to. It was on the list of things maybe to watch, and then decided not to.
In your anti-watch.
Yeah, although saying that, instead of watching the 355, we watched some German nonsense horror film on Netflix. It's called The Privilege.
But it wasn't a privilege to watch it.
It wasn't a privilege to watch it. My screen's just gone blank. So yeah, it's called The Privilege, and I'm only mentioning it here to save anyone the bother of watching it. It's awful. So as I said, it's a German horror stroke sci-fi film which centres around some high school student who 10 or so years ago witnessed the death of his older sister when she seemingly had a hallucination where she was pursued by a demon. As the story progresses, it becomes apparent this wasn't a hallucination, and the family is being pursued by some sort of demon, and the grown-ups in this world can't be trusted. And unlike Feria, which I just talked about, this does a terrible job of everything it tries to do. There's cults in there, there's drug trials in there, there's corporate interference. It just adds up to a mess of a film with no real scares, and the outcome is painfully obvious from, I don't know, probably about 25 minutes in, which is really annoying because the title card and the bit that plays if you just hover over the start of it made it look like a really good film. And it's like, it's German, they're pretty good at doing horror and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not in this case. It's shockingly bad. It's awful. Don't bother.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was trending when we started watching it.
You got to watch that trend and stuff.
I know. Everyone fell for the same thing, I reckon.
All right, Summers, any highlights left?
Death in Paradise was once again.
Oh, I've caught up with that.
That was good this week. Again, slightly they are switching up the usual format this season. It's worked the majority of the time.
Do you know? I'm gonna just. I like the way that old not left. What's the commissioner?
The commissioner.
He's on a mission, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's definitely on a mission there.
He's getting his Mac on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Don Warrington. He's got something else to do at last after 10 years or whatever it is.
Yeah, after 10 years, just popping up every 2 or 3 episodes with a smile on his face.
Yeah, it was good, but it's like this week's was particularly good because there wasn't a murder.
Yeah.
And but there kind of was, but there wasn't. And I don't know, the format was always good, but I think it's quite nice after this amount of time to play around with different things. And they've put a few, well, you're up to date now, so you know, but they put a few different little twists along the tower along the way. And I think most of it's worked, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's not, I wouldn't say it's it never was compulsive viewing, but I mean, the fact that it's taken me 3 weeks to catch up with it, kind of gives me in my mind, makes me think, well, it's not take it or leave it, but it's not high up on the priority of things to watch, like maybe it was 7 or 8 years ago when Ben Miller was doing it. But yeah, you're right. I think I do like the idea that they've shifted the focus from locked door murders to sometimes things that are a little bit more cerebral.
Yeah. And
like you say, this one with the no murder on the island to speak of was quite an interesting twist.
Yeah, because it's like, what? And and they've done it well. And my only thing is, I would like more of. We could have a few more regulars around the island.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, because you get these people and then you never see them again. Like the thief guy this week, it was
him.
Patrick Truman's son from EastEnders. He used to be the doctor in EastEnders, and he was.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know.
And he was the hooligan, and he was with Cat Slater for years.
You're talking to someone who hasn't seen an episode of EastEnders for 5 years.
Yeah, you're probably about right. Yes, I'm saying.
Well, still, but I wouldn't. I didn't even watch it back then.
And he was one of the hooligans in ID as well. And but. You know, he was in there as a kind of red herring kind of thing. But if he's going to be doing his dodgy operation, you know, they could bump into him every couple of weeks, or a bit Huggy Bear, go and see that guy or whatever. You did have, I forgot his name. Was it Big Something down the docks on it? And then they finally, you heard about him for ages. Then he went to see him, and he was a little skinny bloke.
Yeah, I know.
Because his wife had put him on a diet because he had a heart attack. And but you know, they need a bit more on that now. I think.
You're right. They do need to expand the cast, because I mean, the Catherine's in it less and less. She literally just turns up, gives them a couple of beers, and walks off screen again.
Yeah, but a lot of people have made a lot of money out of soaps doing that.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. She's been in it since day one, so
she's the only one. Her and Don Warrington, I suppose, isn't it? He's been in it since the start.
Yeah.
They're the only two. And I bet there's one guy who's just been in every episode that everyone forgets.
Been in the background of every episode.
Yeah. The big Ron of San Marino. but that's still worth a watch, in my opinion. You should check that out. I don't think I've seen anything else. Something weird happened on my TV the other day where I suddenly got HBO Max. I'm not sure how. I think there was a weird, I don't know if it was the Aurora Borealis or the sun was in line with Uranus or something, and I managed to watch a couple more episodes of Peacemaker. Very strange. but then it just cracked and went back to normal after that. So I don't know what happened there, but definitely building. It's the finale this week, and yeah, it's got that James Gunn fun, explosive weirdness about it. I mean, does it all really make sense? Sometimes, probably not. But there's too much going on, and everything's being thrown at you.
But to be fair, I don't think you need to convince any of us that we want to watch it, and probably most of our listeners.
It's just giving them the opportunity.
It's just having the opportunity to watch it in the first place.
But again, the star though is the way that Gunn is just. I said it every week.
Yeah,
he's just gone back and found all the rare gems that I've forgotten about that were in my record collection, in the classic rock vibe. So thanks, James.
Anything else?
No, not this week.
Cool. Anything more from you, Damien?
Just one more thing. Big Sky season 2. So I've talked about this a couple of times when season 1 was on. Season 2.
What is this on Disney?
It's on Disney
Plus
Stars.
Or whatever.
Stars. It's a bog standard crime drama set, I think, in Montana, somewhere like that. Which they apparently Montana is nicknamed Big Sky. Didn't know that, but that explains why it's called Big Sky, I guess.
There's a wrestler called Big Sky from Montana.
Well, there you go. It all goes full circle. So season 2 picks up, I don't know, 6-7 weeks after season 1's climactic finish. Hits the ground running. All the threads from the last season are carried over. Some are closed off in the first episode, and then but the ones that aren't are expanded on. There's a new mystery slowly unfolding, but the main story arc from season 1 is still what draws people in. I've said it before, it's not groundbreaking, it's nothing particularly original. There's no great cerebral premise around, there's no sci-fi, there's no mystery, it's no OA or
it's not aliens
or anything like that. It's nothing like that. But it's just good. It's a bog standard crime drama done really, really well.
I remembered something.
Always going to happen.
How's that for a while? I've been going back through because I only got so far with Batwoman season 2, and I managed.
How gone back to that?
Well, it's still recorded on my Skybox. I've been working through it. I've done about another 4 or 5 episodes over the week, and really good show. It really doesn't, compared to like with what's left of the Arrowverse. The Flash is the Flash at the moment. It kind of got itself back together towards the end, but it lost a lot of its luster. Legends is just kind of Legends, really, and is quite happy to be tongue-in-cheek and a bit stupid, and it's kind of becoming a bit more throwaway now. But Batwoman is a lot more... It's less cheesy, and it's a lot more... I mean, they've kind of gone into sort of child abuse and what happened to the new Batwoman when she was younger, and there's this whole identity thing of like... she's like the new Batwoman, but the other guys on the team are still almost treating her like, they're waiting for the other one to come back. And she's like, well, I'm the one out there taking the bullets. She should be listening to what I say and helping me, not just, I'm not like here part-time until the other one comes back, sort of thing. And searching for her own identity as well. And it's actually, I was surprised at the majority of it and how well it's actually put together. Because season 1 of Batwoman was very much kind of typical Arrowverse stuff and chuck a few cameos in of cool villains here or there or whatever. But I'm going to try and get through it. Cool. I'm way behind because they're on season 3 at the moment now. But worth a watch so far. Do check it out.
No.
Boba Fett bit. Boba Fett bit. Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
Boba Fett bit.
That's right. It's time for the Boba Fett bit, where we talk about the latest in the Lord of the Rings. Oh no, it's not. It's the Book of Boba Fett. Unfortunately, so this week we've been catching up with Chapter 7, In the Name of Honor. And I think it's fair to say there's a difference opinion around the Cult Faction podcast team.
Because you're wrong.
I don't think so. Bro.
No, I don't think so either.
And maybe because chapters 5 and 6 were so good, maybe that overshadowed.
Really? So good?
Chapter 7. But
They were awesome.
But unfortunately, I was left feeling very disappointed after watching Chapter 7.
I wasn't. I thought it was amazing.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Fight!
There's a big battle coming, lads. Everyone's ready, though. We've got one person stationed here, one person stationed there. We can take on an army. We've got them.
Well, an army didn't turn up anyway, so...
Oh, no. But they couldn't take him anyway.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Let's move away from the palace that I meticulously had to plan to get into. That's, a bugger to get into, basically.
Yeah.
We'll move away from there and we'll go to the bombed out cantina that's got about 6 different exits, broken windows.
That's right. Hold on. So they did explain it. Oh, no, we need to protect the locals. Oh, and the locals start attacking them.
No, the locals didn't attack them. The local gang started attacking them. So the actual normal people didn't.
That didn't work well for them, did it?
But they wanted to stand with it. It was what Queen Victoria did in World War II.
Okay,
Queen Victoria in World War II?
Not Queen Victoria. Yeah, what? No. What's the name?
She'd been dead some time by 1939.
World War One then.
And World War One.
Who went down? Who was it that went down? That was the Queen, wasn't it? The Queen Mother. When they went down all the bombings and that and walked around because they needed to show they were there with the people.
The palace, I think the Buckingham Palace remained occupied for a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
there was that film where she went
Queen
out.
Victoria was long dead by 1939. I mean, my history is sketchy. I'm not going to lie to you.
She was dead.
But because
dead.
By that point, I think we'd gone through.
Wasn't it George?
Wrapped in plastic.
No.
It was George, wasn't it?
No, that was
George.
That was the First World War.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What are you talking about, Brad?
I don't know. He's confused everything with Queen Victoria. I
just remember, it was all bombed and she was going through stuff, and it was she was there with the people.
Well, Queen Elizabeth works during World War II. She got her hands.
But anyway,
with the
on the Boba Fett thing, the whole point was they didn't want to abandon them because he didn't have the respect of the people anyway, and it was not abandoning the average people. It was the gangs that turned on them in each sector where they said they would remain neutral.
And he couldn't have done like a Lord of the Rings Two Towers thing and invited them into his secure palace.
Well, they all got their houses built. There's loads of people, wouldn't there?
Yeah, but they could have had the battle from there.
That's the old Sam Crow thing, isn't it? Get into the lockup and man your walls.
So for whatever reason, they stayed in the cantina. Fine. Let's move on.
They stayed with the people.
I didn't actually have an issue with that bit. Okay.
I did. I got on my tits straight away.
But then the moped gang go off and get caught up behind some racer, and they're pinned down or whatever it was. No, not racer. It was just a couple of boxes, and they're pinned down, getting shot off by local gangs. Big Wookiee dude, Chrysanthemum or whatever his name is, gets mugged by about 20 different short people. Great.
Oh, don't get me started. So, 1 minute he can't walk. The next minute he can walk, but he's being carried, and then he's running around like a 3-year-old Alsatian. I mean, make your mind up. You can either walk.
Adrenaline.
Off.
I don't remember him running around at the end. They were holding him up.
Little Wookiee
no, there's segments in that battle where he's literally having to be kind of carried, for want of a better word, because obviously almost twice the size of the people that were carrying him. But then he's he's got a little bit of a limp, and then he's absolutely fine, and he's running around like an Alsatian.
Then we have the Butch and Sundance showdown,
yeah,
which was rubbish.
Well, we knew that was coming. That plays off of what they did before, doesn't it? Because that's where Bubba got the dent in the helmet from.
I know, but the fact that the two of them just stood in the open shooting people. And it seemed like the biggest thing about that was...
I thought you meant Bubba versus Cat Bane.
No, Mando and Bubba. It's great, you're still getting shot. Why don't you just get some cover or something? It seemed like
they got armour on.
Yeah, they were still getting shot and hurt.
And going ow every now and again.
Yeah.
What I liked was but most of their armour worked, whereas Stormtroopers just die in one shot. That was one thing I thought, when Stormtroopers were supposed to be elite crack troopers with special armour.
You need to look on what do you call it, on TikTok. I don't know who done it or what it's called, but there's a little skit where they're full on proper Stormtrooper outfits and everything, and they're in a bunker, and he turns around and he goes, "It's a good job. This armour is lightsaber and laser proof. That's not. Is that what they told you, kid? It's brilliant. You just have to search for it. It's probably on YouTube.
I've seen
as well.
the one where it's the stormtroopers and they're at the paintball thing and they come back out and they're all just clean. And it's like, well, a great day team building that was type thing. But yeah. So say carry on, Paul. Sorry.
No, so that was rubbish. It seemed like they were just trying to make a big deal. Oh, let's get him to shoot stuff out of his knees because that would be really practical. It's like what? What is stupid? Why would you shoot out your knees?
It looked pretty cool.
No, it didn't. It looked stupid.
I don't even remember that. So
why was it stupid? He had rockets in his knees as well.
Yeah, but I'm just going to shoot you with my knee. That's really practical.
Well, it would be if he's flying around.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Yeah, but he does. He's got a backpack. He's got a jetpack.
Oh, which they hardly use for that whole thing.
It costs money.
yeah, the budget went on the Rancor.
Okay, so we'll come to the Rancor.
Oh.
We're come to the Rancor, King Kong. So they all managed to get back to the cantina through whatever means. So some
basically Fennec Shand saving everyone from memory,
and a Wookiee stumbling along, getting shot all the while making his way back, and then they hide behind that speeder thing, and then two huge war droids turn up and can't hit thing. I'm sorry, but they're the slowest droids going. Yes, they have a shield, and that stops them from getting shot at, but they can't shoot toffee.
Well, they're only robots.
So,
well, they weren't that good in A New Hope. No, in the clone. No, what's it called? Attack of the Clones. And all that, was it?
They were facing Jedi. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I don't remember them ever killing anyone.
To be fair, I've always had a problem with walking tanks. To be fair, it's the most impractical way of designing any kind of tank type weapon. Yeah, so, it's got legs.
So they're still hiding behind that speeder thing as opposed to going into Cantina to get some proper cover. Then they run off, and literally they run off. And as opposed to going down some really small alleyways, they just run down the big
main
road.
Street. Yeah,
it's like
they head off straight down Hollywood Boulevard.
Don't dodge. Don't run zigzag or anything. No, run in a straight line, folk. That's going to be the safest way to escape.
Maybe they're hiding their numbers.
And I know I'm going to save the city by taking these droids through the city, so they can destroy every building on the way.
Yeah.
That bit was
because that's all they were hitting was the buildings on the side of the road.
I'll give you that bit.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I don't actually have a problem with the battle sequences as they were, because at the end of the day, it's Star Wars. It's not going to be blood, guts, and all that stuff because it's Star Wars, and that's not what you want from Star Wars. I wasn't looking for blood and guts. 10-year-old you to be happy watching something that you can watch that's a battle. I don't have any problem with that. It was an anticlimax.
10-year-old me could run in a zigzag.
Well, yeah, fair dues. But it's building to this great battle between the Pike Syndicate and Boba Fett's ragtail motley crew. I wanted to see ships landing with troops of their cyborg, what do you call it? The Cylon type people.
It's a Western. You don't get that.
Don't give me this space Western bullshit. Just
it was totally
justify.
The only thing they didn't do was they didn't do that. That's about the only thing that wasn't on there. They played every other cliche out.
Well, don't.
Yeah, don't. And then let's talk about the Rancor monster, shall we?
I had no problem with it apart from it went a bit on the nose with the King Kong bit.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Rancor either, other than
the whole King Kong
climbing the bloody building.
I like the bit that someone remembered it was scared of fire, which was cool when Cad Bane came out and all that. They followed all the stuff that they did because they've done a lot of Rancor stuff in the cartoons over the years, and that all seemed to be there. But yeah, the King Kong bit was a bit on the nose.
And I like the way that they managed to never have to speak of the Star Wars special again by making him ride this Rancor. So now, whenever he references the fact that he's ridden a Rancor, it doesn't have to be in the holiday special. It's now in this particular legendary
he's got the same
Battle of Tatooine.
And they've mentioned Love Day before. So Light Day, wasn't it? What's it called?
I don't know.
The holiday they're celebrating.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yes.
And then we had the big showdown at high noon.
Yeah. Again, it was I wanted a bit more. I'm not sure Bane's dead.
No, he's not dead.
Because
The little light was flashing.
We didn't see the but normally that little robot dude comes and picks him up when that happens. So in the other ones, in the cartoons and that. So we may see him again at some point out for revenge because it's 1-1 now, technically. I'm sure someone's just had a heart attack and is about to email us because I've said that. But in the main stuff that matters, not in all the stuff that doesn't count anymore, I'm pretty sure it's 1-1 because he got him when he was younger. Because he even said something about, like, you're not as fast as me or something, doesn't he? You know you're not as fast as me or something like that. He references it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was good. But I like the fact he took him out with the old gaffy stick. So he went back to his Dances with Wolves origin with his stick. He didn't get him with his Boba Fett gear. He got him with the Sand People gear and smacked him up. Yeah.
And then we had Grogu using his Force.
And Grogu could do whatever he likes.
So he should have done that from the very start, shouldn't he?
Well, they should have brought him forward. They need to trust in him. Size matters not to a Jedi.
And then he cuddles up with the Rancor monster.
Well, 2 little babies, isn't it?
He's knackered.
2 babies.
I mean, using that amount of force, it takes it out of you.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think that bringing in Baby Yoda back at this point has kind of killed a story arc for Mando. I don't.
Well,
I just don't see the need for it. That could have been
the end.
a big chunk of what we get to see in the next.
But does he go back? Has he done a Luke where he's come to help his friend and then he's going to go back?
No, because they ride off in the sunset at the end, don't they?
Yeah, but Luke did. Remember when then Luke goes back to Yoda and Jedi and then Yoda dies?
Don't know. He's taken his mithril shirt now and given up the lightsaber.
Yeah. But he does like paper clips. But it was all right. I mean, there's going to be a whole kids' play set out of this with Baby Yoda, and I like the fact that the mechanic lady was like, Grogu, that's a stupid name.
Yeah.
She's the best thing about. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I can't even say it because she's actually really part of the Mando universe. I'm saying that in inverted commas but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Out of they were all the best bits of everything of that show were Mandalorian episodes.
And Fennec Shand, I think she's done well through the series.
Well, she could have done that a lot. She could have done what she done in that a lot sooner.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she basically took everyone out in the whole series.
What I mean.
Yeah. And managed to get around. Well, they're all riding in cars and doing that. She's running around the rooftops just gunning everyone down. I'm pretty sure she killed Kennedy.
And then she kills them all at the end.
Yeah. So
Good girl.
She's badass. But again, that's the thing now, though, isn't it? Are we going to get? Is she going to stay or is she going to get a show? Because everyone's getting a show now. It's a bit like Oprah with their cars, isn't it? You got a show. You're getting a show.
Well, yeah, because I can't remember the exact line or but it was something like Boba Fett says something along the lines of, people are going to complain about this to the end of time, but it's something along the lines of, I don't know what this town needs. This town needs something, and I don't think it's me, or something like that. He said. So that's like, right, he's going to fuck off now, and she's going to end up running.
No, it'll be
the syndicate.
Because also then you've got in the credit you've got Cobb Vanth in the Bacta tank with the what was he called, the moderator, or what was he called? Well, you remember the robot making man?
Yeah.
He's the rap bloke who does the music, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he was there, so obviously he's going to get roboted up, as it's now called.
Yeah.
So
Brave Star fashion.
I don't get the context behind that because they don't meet.
Well, we don't know what happened there. That's what I mean. So maybe Mando went and got him.
No. I understand. Obviously, Mando went and got him, but badass Boba Fett. Yeah, you hop in, mate. You can have the tank.
Yeah, but
you've done all for me in the last 6 weeks. But hey,
but he wants Freetown's loyalty or whatever, doesn't he? So if they get him on board,
some shacks and
and
a weird looking barman.
But the route where it is like it's prime for spice and trains and stuff.
Yeah,
it was part Godfather. Part 2.
You're just trying to.
It wasn't part.
Where they whack all the crime bosses off, but and it was part
I
High
don't think
Noon where
I genuinely never thought I'd see the day where you go full fanboy and defend
Not full fanboy. I'm just saying
Star Wars.
This is where they got the story from. And the other bit was the High Noon bit where he went around asking for help. Not many people would help him. Where in High Noon he just does it all on his own. And in this one he had like the 4 or 5 people in his gang, and the poor Gamorrean guards never stood a chance. But when it started, the firing started, I was like, right, you two mod kids, there was like a brown-haired guy and another girl. I thought, you haven't spoke a lie, so you're dead.
Yeah.
And then I was like, looking who else is around, it was like, it's going to be the Gamorrean guards. And they had that.
I like the little squeals as they went as well.
They had a nice squirrel over a cliff though, so it was all good. And but yeah, then it was kind of a bit like that. Then at the end, he's finally got the respect now, and
He hasn't got my respect.
No, I don't see how he got any respect out of that battle.
'Cause he didn't
What,
actually
he
do
didn't do anything.
Apart from riding her ankle.
Oh, yeah.
well, don't
did
forget the
that.
Pike Gang was doing everyone over, so he's got rid of them and killed all the other crime bosses now. So he
She
took
got
over.
rid of
Yeah,
them.
but he didn't kill the crime bosses.
Yeah, but they don't know that, do they? He's in charge. You got to remember,
Yeah.
they don't see what we see. They just see a mob boss in charge, or whatever it's called. Was it the Major Domo or whatever it is? So as far as they know, Boba Fett's got rid of all these evil crime bosses and stuff, and he's running shit now.
Fair enough.
But it does make you wonder what they're going to do with Cobb Vanth now. I mean, we did say the other day that he was the cool one. He deserves like something out of this. So
Oh, he's probably in Book of Boba Fett too, and it's going to be about him and not Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
well, they should
We're
like,
going to get more info on how he came across the armour in the first place.
He might get a android horse to ride with a big shotgun.
Brave Star.
Yeah.
30-30. No, but I do wonder, like,
I don't.
they should have called it like the Tatooine Chronicles
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, I'll give you that.
I think, to be honest, a lot of my vitriol and hate would be avoided if it wasn't called, and that has got nothing to do with the mythology that's supposed to surround Boba Fett being this badass. Because, frankly, I said it before, 6 minutes in across 3 films, any of that other nonsense that's put on top of that is your own doing.
And someone
It's
even-
just the fact this is called Book of Boba Fett, and the better episodes and the better characters did not centre around and are not Boba Fett. So
Agreed.
call it,
But
Chronicles of Tatooine.
But it wouldn't matter what you called it. The last episode was still weak.
I think it sets everything up. No, but it does. You've got a whole.
But you can
thing
still
now.
do that and have a strong final episode.
Well, they vanquished the people.
Yeah, but the people that we didn't really care about in the first place,
Well, yeah.
and the people. I mean, was it supposed to be a surprise that the Pikes killed the
I was just
Sand
gonna say
thing
that.
anyway? The Tuskens.
Well, yeah,
Because if it was, that was a poorly hidden surprise.
Well, the thing was, even if they didn't, it was like, oh, who cared? Because we didn't see.
Yeah, we didn't really see any. We didn't get any attachment to the Tuskens in the first place.
But it's not like he went Hulk when he found out either.
Yeah, so if he did
No,
find out, I
it
mean,
was almost like shrug your shoulders.
Yeah.
And,
well, the
and
thing
move
was,
on.
it was. I don't know if it was made to be taken because he kind of gets him back with the stick, with the Bamford stick, but. So he honours them in getting their revenge with their stick, but it wasn't enough.
There was no emotional connection
I
there.
wanted him to sort of smash his skull in a bit, but I don't know if that was if they were trying to do like a bit of an Unforgiven thing there, where he killed again. You know, he didn't want to know because he says about a new like you kill or something. You know, there was something like I wanted about trying to get Boba Fett to kill again or something. So I don't know if there was. I think they were trying to do some sort of Unforgiven.
Maybe.
Clint Eastwood kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but then they didn't. They at no point in any of the previous 6 episodes had they really necessarily sold the fact that he didn't want to kill.
Yeah, that's the other. It's kind of there, but they didn't overdo. You know, it's like mentioned in like 1 second or something like that, and there was one bit I just needed him to just do like the "I'm too old for this shit now" kind of thing because he kind of hinted at that, and he's getting back to tanked every week because he's injured and banged up and all that. So it's showing you that he's not the man he once was.
Yeah.
But again, it's left to you to sort of, and it's not on purpose. They haven't left it. This is my criticism, you know, because people go, well, it's there if you look, and it's, you know, it's in there to be implied. It's like, no, it sounds like Star Wars has to tell you it because it's not the sort of show you watch to necessarily imply things. You need the dialogue to back it up because it's not written to be implied, is it? It's a straightforward, serial sci-fi. Western.
Exactly.
I've always said it's a Western, and it's proven me right eventually. But,
yeah, only because they made it into a Western.
Well, it always was. But my final thoughts on that, which you just put me off of now.
Right, fine, done.
So you're going to have Lone Wolf and Cub in space with the Mandalorian and Grogu and Crime Lords and Tatooine, which is going to be
You
the
said
new
Crime
series.
Lords and Tatooine about this season of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Well, it did, but just not in enough.
Wow.
Well, they killed them all and took over. That was what we wanted, but it was all done in the last 4 minutes. That's a problem. Yeah, by Fennec as well, but Bubba takes the credit.
The Files of Fennec. That's what they should got it. Right, done. Thumbs down for me.
And me.
Up for me.
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
That's right. It's time for the news. The last 7 days have been busy with lots of things being announced, lots of stuff dropping, as we like to say, and some unfortunate news. So let's start with that first. God director in the notes. It's just Ghostbusters director, but let's face it, we're going to talk about a lot of the other films that he's done. So director Ivan Reitman has died at the age of 75.
That's right. So it was announced this week that Meatballs, Stripes, and Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman has died in his sleep at the age of 75. So through the late 1980s and into the early 90s, Reitman forged a successful creative partnership with Arnold Schwarzenegger, directing him in 3 films: Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and Junior. In the early 2000s, he attempted to recreate the success of Ghostbusters with sci-fi comedy Evolution, starring David Duchovny, but in all honesty, fell a little bit short there. Fittingly, his final film project was to be the motion capture stand-in for Harold Ramis in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, the guy's done everything.
Sorry, the way you looked up then, I thought it's going to be some sort of profound.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you wanted someone to say so. I was like,
The director of the films of my childhood, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say apart from when you look at all the films you just mentioned, iconic films of the time. And I didn't actually mind Evolution. I thought that was slightly let down by some of the special effects compared to nowadays. But
Well, it's not that. It's not a bad film. I just, in my mind, some of the comedy fell a little bit short. It was overdone. You know, you look at Ghostbusters. Everything's played straight in Ghostbusters, pretty much. Yeah. Most of it's played straight. That's not everything. That's not right, because there is some over the top slapstick in there, but it's still funny. Evolution was just too.
He tried to do something similar as well, didn't he? With like the 3 of them fighting the aliens as well. But you're right, it just wasn't quite the same.
Just didn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
Overstated, I think. This the word I use for the comedy. It wasn't played straight enough to make it funny.
Yeah.
But let's not take anything away. That's one bad film out of all the things that we've just listed, and it's not, to be fair, even a bad film.
I just think from a career perspective, he got to work with, or he got to see his son, create Ghostbusters Afterlife, and was heavily, an influencer for it. And it was nice that his son knew that he was proud of him.
it just adds so much to Afterlife now as well, knowing that he was we knew he was the stand-in for Ramis, but then maybe they knew something we didn't about his condition or whatever, and it
maybe so, but it's not. It kind of almost goes full circle. I mean, I say he'd done Meatball, Stripes prior to Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters was...
He was working on it. There's a Stripes TV series in the works as well that he was working on as well. I don't know if it's going to be... And a Ghostbusters Ecto-Force TV series had been announced. I'm not sure if that's a cartoon or not, but these are all just products he was working on or going through. So I don't know how far... They may have just been announced and not happened now, or they may be being worked on.
Next in the news, Alan Tudyk returns to the UK this February. Yes, he does. As Sky Max sets a February premiere date for Resident Alien Season 2.
It's only a matter of days for this one. Cult faction favourite and future stone cold classic Resident Alien will return to the UK next week. Premiere on Sky Max next Thursday, the 24th of Feb. It's based on the Dark Horse comic from Peter Hogan and Stephen Parkhouse. It follows Harry, an alien played by Alan Tudyk, that crash lands on Earth and passes himself off as a small-town human doctor. With a secret mission to destroy humanity, Harry tries to live a quiet life while he recovers his ship but is coerced into helping a murder inquiry and soon begins to wrestle the moral dilemma his mission presents. In Season 2, Harry is still stranded on Earth, where he must confront the consequences of having failed his original mission and struggling to hold on to his alien identity as his human emotions grow stronger by the day.
So,
Can't wait.
Yeah, great show. Can't wait for Season 2.
I think that's safe to say we're all looking forward to watching that first episode.
And if you listen next week, you'll get to hear what we think about it.
Yeah, because there's a new bit. We haven't
we're
named
going
it
to
yet,
replace the
but
Boba Fett bit with the yet to be named Resident Alien bit.
Okay, next in the news, Disney announced the a May 25th release date for the Obi Wan Kenobi series.
Okay, from only a week or so to wait, we go to 3 months, roughly, to wait for your new Star Wars content fix, as Disney drops new artwork and announced the release of a trailer for the new Obi-Wan series, which will be on the 25th of May. Kind of thinking they missed a trick there, but I suppose it would be a bit of a cliche if they'd have gone for...
I think there is a rationale behind the 25th. I think it's something like 30 years or 40 years.
I think it's 40 years of A New Hope or something like that. There is a date, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, well. I would have probably been annoyed if they had gone for May the 4th, just because it would have annoyed me. But in the same way, it kind of annoys me they didn't. So, I don't know. Anyway, the series will pick up 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, where we all know... Obi-Wan faced his biggest embarrassment, letting his best friend and young Jedi apprentice be corrupted by the dark side. As well as Ewan McGregor, obviously as Obi-Wan, the series will see Hayden Christensen in the role of Darth Vader, and also reprising their roles are Joel Edgerton. I'll start that again. Joel Edgerton. I can't speak. Joel Edgerton. Thank you, Paul. As Owen Lars, and Bonnie Pierce as Beru Whitson.
Beru.
Yeah.
And Beru.
So there we have it.
You're not looking forward to that,
Oh, I can care less, really, to be perfectly honest with you.
I don't think this is going to be a cowboy one.
No, probably not.
Yeah, no, so I am looking forward to this. I think the interesting thing will be, okay, Ewan was very much Obi-Wan in those days. He's a little bit older now, so he's a great actor. So to see him actually perform it a bit older, and an older character that he's probably loving going back to, I'm excited to see his little face. And also Hayden Christensen, let's be honest, he's had a lot more acting experience since the first of the Star Wars films that he appeared in. So hopefully he's going to be able to bring some of those newfound acting skills to the table.
Yeah, he's become quite an acclaimed actor since then, hasn't he?
Exactly. So yeah, it's similar to like the likes of Daniel Radcliffe in Harry Potter, that's actually gone off and, well, I was going to say, got some acting talent, but some of his most recent films, he's just playing an English bad guy. But yeah,
my only worry is again that this stuff's already been told, and they better not contradict anything they've already set up themselves in their own bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But what a great call if you're Joel Edgerton, though. Like all these years later, we're making an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Do you fancy it?
Yeah.
Fancy it? It's like, yeah, absolutely, I'm there.
He's moved on to bigger things as well, though, hasn't he? He's done some quite...
Yeah, no,
but I can't think of one now, but...
Now he gets to go back to Star Wars and just like...
Yeah. He always had the conventions to fall back on anyway. But...
He went like, Joel, right, you remember like when you were like a bit fatter and not as good looking and that, and you like worked really hard to get out of that? We need you back like that again.
Yeah.
But I'm like 180 pounds now, solid mass. Now lose that.
Yeah.
Here's some beers. Here's a pie. Go and get ready, boy. We'll get you an action figure, son.
Okay.
Cool.
And the last...
Well, before you move on, I've no doubt that this will be a weekly drop on Disney Plus, so I'm going to be forced to watch this as a... I don't know what... Well, an Obi bit. That'll work. Scan's better than Resident Alien bit.
What about some Obi-Wan fun?
Yeah, that's what we'll I'll see if I've got between now and May the 25th to write a jingle or something.
Obi-Wan fun. Obi-Wan fun. Obi-Wan fun.
Can't keep using that.
Yeah. Only for the things that it goes with.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally in the news, the new trailer and release date has been announced for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
A new age begins, September the 2nd.
Oh, actually,
2022.
actually, we should probably try and do that in an Elvish voice where you go down. New trailer and release date announced for Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power. Because they do that, don't they?
I've got no idea what you're talking about, Paul.
Oh, okay.
And I'm quite pleased about that.
I thought you were doing Chris Tarrant again.
Yeah, so 2nd of September 2022, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Amazon Studios' forthcoming series will bring the heroic legends of the fabled Second Age of Middle-earth's history to screens for the very first time. This epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin. Unlikely heroes were tested, hope hung in the finest threads, and the greatest villain that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world in darkness. That was just a load of words that I had made no sense to me whatsoever.
Did you watch the
It
trailer?
sounded like you
No.
meant them, though. That was good. It sounded like you meant them.
Did it? I'm pleased about that.
I thought
but-
it was a voiceover there. It was like,
Did you catch the trailer, Brett?
I flicked for it. But all I had is, if we end up doing a bit for that one, all I had in my head was, all the rings he said, all the rings he said.
So you haven't watched the trailer?
I flicked for it.
Right. So is anyone other than me looking forward to it?
No, I can frankly give a f***. I hate this shit.
Cool. There we go then.
You're on the right podcast.
So anything else in the news?
Yeah,
Or is-
Brett's got one last breaking bit of news that doesn't involve the Chippendales.
Yeah, breaking news. Adam Steigel will be directing a Wonder Twins movie for HBO Max. That's right. The Wonder Twins are getting a movie.
Right, in a very, and I mean very, short synopsis. Explain to me why that should be of interest.
I'm not sure it should, but it's just really random because the Wonder Twins were a 1977 sort of cartoon sidekick thing, and they're called Zan and Jaina, and they were kind of the backup to the Super Friends TV cartoon, and they could activate
elevators?
their rings together and have shape-shifting powers and stuff. But again, of all there was a live-action version in the Smallville TV series for an episode. They kind of came in and went,
Okay, so this is spandex superhero nonsense, yes?
well, it is, but it's not what I would
No,
call the normal stuff.
You
'cause-
kind of had to rewind a little bit because I don't know what that is. That's why
Okay.
I asked. So this is superhero spandex capes
yeah, but this
and
is
all that
almost stuff that the superhero spandex people will be like, why are you making this one?
Yeah.
It's like, of all the stuff that Warner Brothers own for HBO Max and all the DC properties,
Yeah.
they've gone back to a sidekick thing they made up for, because you know that when they used to make the cartoons in the 70s, you had the main story and you needed a backup one to make it like half an hour or whatever it was so it could be syndicated.
Yeah.
So they made it up and like whacked it out there, and now they're giving them a movie. And they've almost been like the butt of the joke for years, and now
Maybe
but haven't
maybe
you
it's going to
said
be a
that-
comedy.
I seem to remember a very similar conversation about Guardians of the Galaxy,
true.
whereas they were the butt of jokes. They were the
Well, they were just like not that very good in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Yeah,
know.
but at least they were in it.
Oh,
This is
that's a good job. I'm sitting down. I think I just defended
Well done, Damien.
something.
But that's the one show you like.
one
Guardians of
film.
the
Oh
Galaxy.
yeah.
Not the Wonder
But,
Twins.
but
The
no,
one
it's
Twins
just,
is.
that's why it's news, because it's just such a weird choice. So whether or not they're now going for more of the kid market after trying to be very Snydery and dark and moody
Yeah.
and mean, maybe they've just gone like, right, none of that's right. Let's go totally the other way and pick the one we made for 4-year-olds
Yeah,
and
maybe.
just make that, and it'll be zany.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
So it's just an
Keep
interesting
an eye out
choice.
for that one.
I'm sure people do love the Wonder Twins, so don't direct hatred at us. But in the UK, it wasn't that big a thing.
Right. That's the news. We've had the Boba Fett bit. We've had the news and views. We're done.
We are
So
done.
don't forget to check us out on all your podcast and pod listening, streaming services for all things pod related.
Pod people.
Obviously, don't forget to check out the main hub of Cult Faction, the cultfaction.com website. Again, there's a lot more content on there, reviews, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe some competitions every now and again.
Yeah.
Please do rate, review us on all of your streaming services. Any comments are really appreciated. Well, particularly if they're nice, as opposed to just some of the random bot comments that we get. And we're on TikTok as well. We've got a long series, I was going to say, of different competitions there where you have to guess the films.
You don't win nothing.
TVs. Yeah.
Quizzes. It's called competition makes it sound like you win something. You don't win anything.
Quizzes.
Winners get a signed T-shirt. Yeah, and again, if you have any comments that you want to email us, any questions, any ideas for stuff to cover, then don't forget to drop us an email to cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Well done.
Thanks, David. Yeah, it's only been a year. As ever, I've been Paul Hawkins. And with me has been
Brett Summers,
Damien Hicks,
and it's a goodbye from me.
Quapla
From Brett.
See ya.
From Damien. Good night, or morning, or afternoon, depending on when you're listening.
Superman.
Oh.
We haven't done anything yet.
Well, we don't get words, so...
They gave the monkey a microphone.
I like it. This is what they had in We Are the World, and this is what I want.
Oh, what fun we had.
Fucking hell, what you done with your microphone?
Hey, you.
I like the muff. Now we're going to play videos and rock. Yeah, Coca-Cola Top 10.